I'm going to show you how I make dehydrated fruit. Hey, it's Brian, the loafers and lilies and loafers. And so you might be asking, what's dehydrated fruit? It's essentially when the majority of that water content is removed from the fruit. Think about the dried fruit in trail mix, or think about yourself. You could use a glass of water right now, right? So you can eat dehydrated fruit. Once you remove the water content, it can have a shelf life of up to 6 months. You can use dehydrated fruit in craft projects like holiday wreaths, but I'm using dehydrated fruit to garnish my cocktails. And so when you're thinking about garnish, why would you choose dehydrated fruit over a fresh lemon wedge? You'd want to use dehydrated fruit when you want to add a garnish without adding flavor. So in a margarita, yeah, add the fresh lime wedge. But for an overly crafted cocktail, you might want to add a dehydrated lime. Dehydrated fruit in cocktails, purely for decoration. I'm making my own dehydrated fruit because I went to go buy a bag of dehydrated fruit and I didn't want to spend over $20 on this bag of dehydrated fruit. So I'm making it myself. I'm gonna make limes, lemons, and sliced mandarins. And I've also dehydrated sliced apples. So here's how you're gonna make your dehydrated fruit. You're gonna preheat your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a cooling rack that can fit inside of a baking sheet, that's what you wanna use. There are actual dehydrating appliances you can buy. I don't make that much dehydrated fruit, so I'm not going to buy an appliance, and that's why I'm gonna use my oven. And if you just have a baking sheet, that's completely fine. Just line it with some parchment paper, and you're gonna have to rotate that fruit every 30 to 60 minutes. Now it's time to slice the fruit. I'm slicing this fruit into about 1/4 inch or less slices. If your slices are on the thicker side, it's gonna take longer for that fruit to dehydrate versus a thinner slice. And once all your fruit is sliced, lay it right on the cooling rack or your baking sheet, depending on what you're using, and stick it right in the oven. And now you're gonna bake this for about 4 to 6 hours, depending on your fruit. And remember, if you're not using a cooling rack and just the baking sheet with parchment paper, you're gonna wanna flip that fruit every 30 to 60 minutes. And if you are gonna be flipping your fruit, you might need on the longer side of 4 to 6 hours. My limes, mandarins, and lemons only took me about 2 to 3 hours. But my apple slices, these took closer to 6 hours. You'll know when the fruit is ready to come out of the oven once it starts turning brown. The fruit slices will still be pliable, but once you take it out of the oven to cool down, that's when they're gonna start to firm up. Once your dehydrated fruit is completely cooled off, you can store it in an airtight container for up to 6 months, or make a cocktail and garnish your cocktail with your dehydrated fruit. Use the fruit to garnish your cocktails, make some holiday wreaths, or throw in a bag of trail mix.